Hey everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today here on Blind Whiskey Reviews, the most honest reviews on YouTube. As always, if you like the videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification. That way you'll know every time I'm uploading a new video and every time I'm starting a new live stream. And if this is your first time joining us for one of these Speedy sample reviews, in these two boxes I have 24 sample bottles of whiskey. I don't know which whiskeys are in this box, and I certainly don't know what order they're in. These whiskeys are made up of whiskeys sent to me by distilleries to review, whiskeys sent to me by friends out there in the whiskey world, and whiskeys I've already reviewed and put in the sample bottles a few months after the bottle was opened, so that way we can see if the whiskey's getting a little bit better or worse over time. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Here we got 24 samples programmed onto the random number generator, and today we'll be reviewing sample number 8. Sample number 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Looking away so I don't see the label. Pouring ourselves a touch of whiskey. It's a quick review, we don't need too much. Putting it back in and not looking here. Alright, so let's get into the nose real quickly. I'm not getting a whole lot going on this nose. Let's get some coating on the glass and see if maybe we can coax a little bit of aroma out of this. Slight dill. A couple light fruity notes. For the time being, not much else going on in the nose. So let's get to the taste. Cheers. Definitely a rye whiskey. Big dill flavor. A little bit of a kind of a bitter apple, like a Granny Smith apple. Slightly sweet. Almost a slight mintiness on the back end. A little bit of citrus. Get another taste here. Yeah, more of the same. Again, definitely rye. You can't deny that dill flavor, that sharp kind of bitter bite that it gives you. Not too much in the way of spices on this whiskey. It's predominantly, like I said, just a little bit of light sweet fruits and a big punch of dill spice. You're not getting a ton of maybe just the slightest hint of cinnamon, touch of vanilla, touch of citrus. You know, there's little hints of other things, but it's really dominated by the dill. And while I'm not a huge fan of dill, there's certain whiskeys where it's not off-putting as long as it's balanced right. This one is a bit forward for me, so I'm not loving it. It's not bad, perfectly drinkable, but just a little more dill than I would like to taste on a whiskey. Last taste. Yeah, this one just doesn't have a ton of complexity. Definitely could use some more time in a barrel. Would love to be able to taste some of those deeper, darker flavors that come from the oak. So I would imagine this is a bit younger, not a super old whiskey. So anyways, it's not bad. It's just not great. And I'm going to give it a review or a score of a... I don't quite want to give it an 80 because I just don't think it's there, but I don't think it's like in the 70s either. Not that 70s are bad. Like for me, a 75 is still a perfectly drinkable, decent whiskey. And so I'm going to say this is a 79. I think it's good. I think it's drinkable. There's just not enough going on for me there. A little bit too much dill, a little bit too one note. Like so there's a few other hiding notes, but it's a little too dominated by one note. So let's find out what this is. This is the Willett 3-Year Rye. All right, so I'll put the score of the original review. This is a re-review, and if I will link that up here if you want to check out the original review of the actual bottle when it was first opened. But yeah, I seem to recall it was very similarly flavored, and it hasn't changed a whole lot. It's a little bit young. It doesn't have the complexity that I would like. A lot of people are big fans of Willett. This is just too dill forward for me. And keep in mind, I think these Willett bottles are all single barrels. So your mileage may vary, and maybe there are other bottlings. This is the only bottle of this 3-year rye I've tried. Maybe some of the other bottlings have a little bit more balanced profile. This one is just very, very dill forward, and it's not bad. It's just, it's not in my wheelhouse, and it needs some more time in a barrel. Now, their 4-year rye is out, and I'm really curious to try that. I have not picked up a bottle yet, so maybe that's something I can do here in the near future. Pick up the 4-year and see how it changed compared to this 3-year, because that's obviously a significant difference from 3 to 4 years. So hopefully that's added some complexity to it, brought a little bit of that dill character down, if that's something that's pretty dominant in these other Willett releases, and made it a little bit more balanced and drinkable. So again, thank you for joining me for the Speedy sample review. If you've had the Willett 3-year, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. As always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at blind_reviews. You can send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews, that's whiskey with an E, @gmail.com. And until next time, cheers.